Okay, for the filling, we're going to start out by slicing, or you can dice your vegetables. The vegetables, I got some celery, onion, and carrot. If you're going to do your chicken on the same cutting board, then go ahead and dice or slice your vegetables first, and then you can do your chicken. Otherwise, go ahead and do your chicken on another cutting board while you're doing this. Have someone else do it. So we're just going to nice large chunks, more like medium to large dice. You have a quarter onion. You can just flatten it, break it down within the leaves, 3 sections. Flat. Add that in. Last one. You want to peel your carrot. With the carrot, you can do anything you want here. So if you want to do what they call a row cut, you can do something like this. This looks really nice. See Skills USA people here. Add that in. Or if you want to just do a slice, you can do a slice. Add that in. Then you're going to add your garlic. Just kind of hit. Remove the outer. Should always take off the ends, as you can see there. And then just mash. So you should mince it. And we're going to reserve that. We don't want to put this in our bowl. We want to put that in after we've got our vegetables translucent. So we'll set this aside. Okay, then you're going to go ahead and get your chicken, and you're going to dice that into a large chunk. So what you could do is just cut it in half, and then you can cut it in half this way, and then you're just going to cut it into chunks. And then put it in a separate bowl, just like this. What you want to do is add your oil, approximately 1 tablespoon. Make sure it gets all in there. Then you're going to add your chicken. What you want to do is you want to build some of that fond, which is that nice toastiness. Then you're going to add your vegetables and get those so they're starting to sweat or get translucent. Okay, then you're going to add your garlic. Once you've got it translucent, and just make sure you get that cooked in there. You'll be able to smell the aroma of the garlic. That tells you that it's toasting up, but not burning. I'm also going to add potatoes in mine. You can bring potatoes. Then you're going to add your chicken stock. And you want to let this go for about 5 minutes. until those vegetables cook a little more and the chicken cooks a little more. Okay, after about 5 minutes, you're going to add your roux. Now you're going to go up to 3 ounces. You may need less. You may even need a little more. But what this is going to do is it's going to thicken it. And you do want it a little bit thicker because it's going to steam a little in your pie pan or your pie shell. So we add in this in. Again, you do want it slightly thicker. As you can see, it's kind of thickening up rapidly. And then we're going to add our milk. And let's thin it out a little more. And make sure your vegetables are cooked. Of course, your chicken will be cooked. And in my case, I got potatoes in here. So we want to make sure those are nicely cooked. So this is about where you want it, slightly thickened. You want to make sure that this, again, you're going to cool this off rapidly. So you do want this slightly thickened, okay? And then you're going to add all your salt, pepper, and thyme. And we are right on there. So that's what you're looking for, nice and thick. Okay, then you're going to get it into a pan. And you need to rapidly chill it. So a shallow pan, and preferably you might want to use your half sheet pan. Use your half sheet pan, place it into the freezer. Then, and again, when we begin, you're going to get a half sheet pan, place it in the freezer, and then we'll remove it, place this on top of it, and then it should cool down really quickly. We want to get that dough going at the same time. This is what you want to do. If you do not, at a certain amount of time, at the 45-minute mark, if you don't finish this, then you're only going to have to do the top because you won't have time to do the bottom. For the pie crust, okay, you want to make sure that you mix up your flour really good, your flour, your sugar, and your salt. Break it down. You can add your shortening in there. Again, just kind of break it down with the fork. Make sure you distribute it evenly. Then with your batter, you can grate it or you can dice it into small little chunks. Okay? As you grate it, kind of mix it in. Okay? Do a little more. Again, make sure it's chilled. You could also use some flour to kind of insulate your hands. And then you still need to keep mixing as you put it in. Just like that. Here you have to make sure that everything is cold. You're going to add that ice water. You got to work with this really fast. Okay, then you're going to add your water in. Just enough so that it comes together. And this is what you're looking for. Okay, at this point you can use your hands. Again, now remember this should be cold. You don't want any of that butter. So work with it in your bowl until it comes together. This is what you're looking for, enough that it comes together here. Okay, then you're going to get your dough. Remove your dough. You're going to need a little bench flour to work it in. It should be fairly sticky. And you want to go about 1/3 for the top, 2/3 for the bottom. You're going to have a lot more. You're going to need a lot more for your pie. Okay, so just form it into a disc. Get your flour working. And you're going to roll it out. Now the method in which to do it is turn it a quarter turn, from the center out. Okay, it should be a little sticky. We don't want it too dry. We want to keep it nice and moist and flaky. This is what keeps it nice and flaky. You can literally go right into the oven if it's still cold. If you start to feel that the oils are starting to come out, if you feel your hands are getting a little greasy, then you're going to have to refrigerate it. Again, you can do this on the silicone pad. That'll be very helpful. Okay, fold it in half. Fold it in half. Get your pie dish, place it in the center, flip it, and get it worked in. You want a little overlap. Unlike the last time, you guys will not need to blind bake it. You're going to go right into the oven with your filling. While that's waiting, if you want to refrigerate, you can while you're doing the top, or that would be very helpful. You want to get that top ready to go. It should be actually pretty thick. Place it into your pie pan. You don't want to press down, you want to let it breathe. So you don't want to press down on it. You want it just enough so that it breathes a little here. As you can see, that fits perfectly. Don't go pressing down on it, otherwise it's going to take longer for it to cook, and then the pie dough could burn. So we're going to place this in like so. Bring that out, and then you want to grab the ends here and tighten them. Now again, if you guys run out of time, if you don't have enough, if your filling isn't cooled, then you're only going to be able to put a top in. You won't be able to do the bottom. So make sure you get that really good. And you're just going to go ahead and basically pinch the tops and bottoms, and then you'll get a knife and then you'll cut around. A little trustworthy utility knife. We'll cut around any excess that we have. So here's one way you can do it, is you can do a little fold like this. As you can see, I'm just going like this. Okay. Another way is using your finger. Do that. Again, if you do them this way, you're going to have to put foil over it and then cut around so this doesn't burn. The way I'm going to recommend is if you just use a fork and you just flatten down. This way you won't have to use foil. Okay, so that'll be up to you. So the fork is just going to give it a nice little definition. So for now though, I'm just going to go ahead and do it this way. This is just another way of doing it. Alright, there you go. Now you do need to vent it. I'm going to put a little hole in the center. And then go ahead and get a knife. Make some slits on it. It has the steam has to escape. And then Finally, you are going to get a little egg wash. And egg wash your pie. And we'll show you what it looks like when we're done. All right, and this is the finished product.